Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 North Carolina Cybersecurity Awareness Symposium. My name is Michael McCray, and I work with the Enterprise Security and Risk Management Office at the North Carolina Department of Information Technology. One of my primary responsibilities with the ESRMO involves cybersecurity training and awareness, which is what this session is about. Before we get started, I want to let you know that if you have any questions, please put those in the chat window in your WebEx screen, and we'll do our best to answer as many as possible during this session. Thank you for joining us today for this year's symposium and for this session. This session's title is Cybercrime, The Threat is Real. It will be delivered by Kathleen Gardner and Andrew Guay, who are with KnowBe4. More on Kathleen and Andrew in a moment, but first some brief info about this session. We probably have all heard about defense in depth or having different layers to cybersecurity. But how can you create a human firewall to protect your organization? In this interactive session, you will learn how easy it is to fall victim to a cyber attack, see examples of phishing attempts, and review how to spot a phish. Find out how KnowBe4, a solution for security awareness training with a phishing simulator, can help educate and monitor your organization. And now a little background about our presenters. Kathleen Gardner serves as Vice President of Customer Relations with KnowBe4. Kathleen's primary role is to build value and long-term relationships with KnowBe4's largest clients. Utilizing her more than 20 years of experience as a professional executive, her high-energy focus is a combination of marketing, communications, best practices, and strategic alignment to exceed client expectations with data-driven results. Building and maintaining a comprehensive security awareness culture and mitigating risks for the organization she partners with is her ultimate goal. Andrew Guay serves as Senior Enterprise Customer Success Manager with KnowBe4. Andrew has been with KnowBe4 for more than 4 years. Andrew helps ensure that customers' entire security awareness training platform investment achieves maximum value. He assists with onboarding, conducting periodic reviews that highlight areas of opportunity, and relaying opportunities to other teams to further improve customers' experience. Kathleen, Andrew, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Just gonna take your screen away here. That was quite an introduction. We sound so important. First of all, I really appreciate the opportunity to present to the state of North Carolina for your Cyber Symposium. We're super excited to be here today. Can you all see, Michael, can you just say that you can see my screen so I don't get started and then nobody's seeing anything? Just as a check here. Ah, perfect. That's a great start then. Well, thank you so much again. I'll just jump in right here. I always like an agenda. Overall, I want to talk about the threat intel. You know, what are we seeing out there? What are we hearing around the globe? Talk about the importance of a security awareness goal and objective plan. I'm going to make recommendations around building a policy around a cyber incident plan. I'll touch on some of our research and always have loads of resources to share with you. We never run out of resources here at KnowBe4. Matter of fact, if any of you are late to the game or late to the party on Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we do have a free cyber kit that I'll share with you after the presentation. I'll dig into our courseware, our content a bit. We've got some award-winning content, and we've got a live demo from my colleague Andrew. So really hope you enjoy what we present today. And as I told Michael, if you get one good takeaway, then I'll be happy. So getting into a little background on KnowBe4 for those of you who are not familiar, I like to talk about how we got started, kind of the backstory here. Hands down, we are leaders in this space. We are the world's largest security awareness training and simulated phishing platform. Security awareness is our core competency. We have over 40,000 clients to date. We are global, and we just celebrated 11 years in August. Our owner and founder is Stu Showerman. Stu came from the InfoSec world. He sold a company called Sunbelt Software over 11 years ago. They actually developed Viper antivirus. So the story that I heard was Stu took 2 days off after selling that company, and he started KnowBe4 because he realized it didn't matter how good your AVs and filters were. Those phishing emails were still getting through. Folks were clicking and costing a lot of money and time. He realized nobody was addressing the human error, and really this should be your first and last line of defense these days. So fast forward. Here we are 11 years later. Unfortunately, if you do watch the news anymore, things aren't any better. They're getting kind of worse, actually. So jumping into what the threat landscape looks like, this came from NSA in July. In case there was any doubt, we are at war. It's a cyber warfare. You know, the NSA, CISA, FBI, and actually the UK's National Cybersecurity Center released the Cybersecurity Advisory in Q2. So exposing malicious cyber activities by Russian military intelligence against the US and also global organizations, and confirmed really that this started in mid 2019 and likely ongoing. The advisory was released as part of NSA's routine and continuing really cybersecurity mission to warn network defenders of nation state threats. And oh yeah, by the way, government tops the list of targets here. And actually, we just had a recent update yesterday. It was featured in our blog. If you all don't subscribe to our blog, I'd highly recommend it. Push out great information every day about what we're seeing around the globe, what to watch out for in these scary times. But this from The Hill, NSA expects to be facing ransomware attacks every single day in 5 years. So what does the research and data show us? This Verizon's data breach investigation report is a great piece. I believe this is the 14th year they've put it out. This came out in May. We always look at this report. There's a lot of great webinars around it as well. They've added mobile as well. You know, mobile is a great concern for a lot of folks in the InfoSec world. But in essence, you know, Verizon's latest report, once again, phishing, #1 threat action variety. They reported credentials were stolen in 85% of social engineering breaches. And then 85% of data breaches involved a human element. So again, phishing, human error, very important. Another great resource here is Cisco's 2021 Threat Trends Report. You guys can actually Google this and request a copy of it, but a lot of good information in this report. In essence, in the last year, cyber criminals have delivered a wave of cyber attacks. They were way far more advanced than anything we've ever seen before. This one too, just out in our blog on Friday. PT Security put out this Cybersecurity Threatscape, shows the different types of data stolen year over year increases here, as well as victim categories among organizations. And it stated the number of attacks on government agencies actually soared from 12% to 20% from Q1 to Q2. So very alarming stats there. This was a significant addition from NIST earlier this year, but formal recognition that phishing simulations are really a much needed security control. KnowBe4 was happy to see that NIST added some additional language here. So talking about your phishing campaigns, how they need to mimic real world threats that we're seeing out there. So you really have a true understanding of your susceptibility. Interestingly enough, they included, no notice. I used to work with organizations a while back that said, oh, we have to notify our employees when we're going to, phish them this week. So that is not a best practice. And we were happy to see NIST, recognizing these best practices here. Not one-dimensional, your phishing campaigns, highly crafted. So know before in our platform, we have now over 10,000 phishing templates that you can use. You can customize them in any way, but we do rank them 1 to 5 stars. Andrew will show you this a little bit later in the demo, but utilizing those 1 and 2 star easy to spot emails is not our, it's good at the beginning, but as you train your users up, you want to look at those more difficult 4 and 5 star templates, very realistic. That's what the cyber criminals are sending out, and that's what you need to train your users up on knowing what to look for. Also not one-dimensional. So one of the categories in our phishing templates is phishing for sensitive information. So in essence, your employee would see an email that says, hey, it's Netflix, it's time to update your account, click here. And when the employee clicks, that's a phish failure right there. But what happens is a very authentic looking landing page now opens. It looks exactly like a Netflix login page. Now they're going to enter their credentials. So definitely those, again, more two-dimensional crafted phishing simulations are what you want to train your users up to. So what techniques do hackers use most of the time? This is according to our research, what we're seeing, the majority of emails that are being reported. The typical things here, fake invoices, always should be kind of a red flag for you. Sense of urgency, the prompt to click a link, checking domains, that kind of thing, should all be red flags. And then also the timeliness. So those Amazon delivery packages around the holidays, the IRS notifications in April, cyber criminals prey on current events, things like that. So definitely things to look for. And these scams have been around a long time, but they're only getting better. This is an actual phishing email KnowBe4 received. Again, it's got kind of the common things here, the scary countdown clock, prompting you to take some type of action or there'll be a consequence. Click this link or you're going to lose all your data. The from and to are actually the same, so just different things to look for. But I thought that would be an interesting example of one that we found ourselves. And KnowBe4 has a ton of resources. I mentioned this social engineering red flags is one of the infographics you have available to you in our Modstore. But an excellent piece, I have a colleague here, KnowBe4 has a very strict phishing policy. Of course, this is all we do. She shared with me when she first started with KnowBe4, when we were all in the office, of course, she printed out this infographic. She had it next to her computer because she was terrified of clicking on a phishing simulation. So it actually does train your users, your employees, to know what to look for in any given email. There can be 25 different red flags, but looking at this every day, sharing this on any blog or intranet site you guys might have to help expand that message of what to look for. But the typical things, if there's an attachment, that's always a red flag. Did I expect to get this email from this person, or the subject line, spelling errors, that kind of thing? Those are definitely red flags and things to look at in any email if you're ever suspicious. So when we look at a comprehensive security awareness plan, what does it come down to really? Human behaviors and training your end users. So which is why I always like to talk about our 2 assessments that you have available to you. Should be a key recommendation for your annual plan, knowing where to target training with our security awareness proficiency assessment and building a culture of awareness with our culture survey. So in essence, 2 surveys that you have available. The security awareness proficiency assessment was based on 4 different research studies. It's a 10-minute survey in essence, but great year over year. This is a sample of the report you would get after pushing it out. But an overall score. What is the knowledge of your employees as it pertains to security awareness? And then knowing where to target that training if you've got a weak area. So security awareness proficiency assessment is a great, again, knowing where to tailor your training campaigns to increase knowledge and help build that human firewall that we talk about. And then the other assessment here, the Security Culture Survey, really phenomenal research. This is a organization that we acquired out of Norway. Kai Rohr was the owner and founder. He's now our chief research officer at KnowBe4, but over 25 years experience in cyber. Most of his experience is in security culture. KnowBe4 used to talk about build that secure culture within your organization to mitigate risk. The Security Culture Report just came out in Q2. Again, happy to share this resource with you. It is global. It's based on the last 5 years of research. But in essence, what does it come down to? Human behavior, human psychology. This again is a sample report that you would get. This one's about 28 questions, takes about 10 minutes, but you would get an overall score. Here's the different dimensions of human behavior. How do these different dimensions in human behavior actually impact the security of your organization? Again, lots of good data from this, including this 52 time reduction in the likelihood that someone would click a phishing email by improving your culture. So lots of good info in that piece as well. And I would highly encourage you to look at our assessments. Jumping into resources now, our Cybersecurity Awareness Kit is out. If you guys need free resources, these are free to anybody. I think we really upped our game this year. We've got an interactive planner. We developed a 5-part security awareness program series. So these are 5-minute videos. Anything from how do I motivate my employees to take training, gaining executive level support, measuring the benefits of your program. I think there's one on culture as well, how to develop a stronger culture. But that's our cyber kit. Again, different pieces, infographics, videos, tip sheets, some great information there. This is the interactive planner. So we make it easy for you. You've got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, different forms of media here, videos, training. There's even some puzzles in there. This 20 ways to block mobile attacks is a new infographic I'd highly recommend. We've got meeting backdrops for, meetings such as these. We've got still so many work from home users. Those are handy. Any way to keep that message out there of security awareness is a good thing. I felt like I couldn't do a presentation caption, "The Threat is Real," without touching on ransomware. Huge topic on a lot of radar these days. It's not getting any better. I included this blog article here from Q2. Ransomware attacks on US government organizations cost over $18 billion in 2020. So I've highlighted this article for you if you'd like to learn more about their key findings here. But it also prompts me to share with you our ransomware page on our KnowBe4 website. So again, free resources here on our website, knowbe4.com/ransomware. This hostage rescue manual was written by our own Roger Grimes. He's our data-driven defense evangelist. I think he gave himself that title, but he has over 30 years experience. He's published 13 books, over 1,000 national magazine articles, very knowledgeable. This gets downloaded a lot. It does have a great checklist, kind of a ransomware prevention checklist, and you can learn more about ransomware, but again, a free piece there. Our ransomware simulator tool, so KnowBe4 has over 20 free tools that are again on our website. One of them is our ransomware simulator tool. So this was actually just updated end of July. It'll run 23 different scenarios on your workstation, but we actually added Deer Cry and Black Kingdom end of July. So those are the two Microsoft huge server attacks. Those were blamed for earlier this year. So it now includes those two. So valuable to check out, seeing as how risk has really skyrocketed lately. And again, you've got infographics, you've got ebooks on that ransomware page. So more resources there. And that takes me into our live demo and turning it over to Andrew Guay. And then I've got a few more pieces of information for you after Andrew's demo. So Andrew, take it away.
Cool, perfect. Thank you so much, Kathleen. Can you please go ahead, or Michael, confirm that you're able to see my screen okay?
I can see it.
Awesome. Greatly appreciate that. So thank you again, everyone, for joining. Like they both mentioned, my name's Andrew. I'm your customer success manager. And really what that entails is making sure that your entire platform, your security awareness program, everything that you do is a success. So through the onboarding best practices, going over routinely scheduled calls, however, we can make sure that everything works out well for you and lowers the overall risk. Because after seeing some of the slides, some of the numbers Kathleen presented, I'm sure you're thinking, okay, well, what can we do, especially with $18 billion in governments and ransomware in 2020? How do we help prevent that? What do we have access to? So to start things off, this console I'm showing you is a complete demo. The information, the campaigns, everything's going to be fictitious data. I've implemented and changed over some things with Michael's approval that are specific premium features that the state has access to. Where I wanted to guide you guys first is starting in the email template section. You'll notice here, there's a few different options. You have My Templates, which could be ones that you've created yourself, or you can create custom categories. You'll notice I've already been proactive and created one for State of North Carolina, where you can group multiple emails together, because this is a continuous process where you're going to test the users, send out simulated phishing emails, you'll send training to educate them, retest them to see how they've learned the information, and it's a revolving cycle. If you want, you can also check out our system template section, where we have over 11,000 pre-created templates for you. Super easy to navigate. All your categories are going to be on the left-hand side. The templates within those categories are then on the right. So something that's pretty cool too is you'll notice this reported fishes of the week category. This is completely optional for organizations, but they can send us the real phishing emails that they're receiving. Our internal teams will review them. We'll see which are the most common, and then we'll turn those into templates for you so you can actually send things that are real threats going on now. Here's an example of 10 simulated emails that are ongoing and that we've created for our organizations to use. As Kathleen mentioned in part of her demo, you'll notice they're easy to sort by difficulty based on the number of red flags in those emails. And if you like the idea of like this DHL one, you wanted to preview it, see what it looks like, you can click on the blue eyeball preview here. And this is a sample of the template. So it reads, "Dear customer, your package is in transit, but additional payment is needed to receive your package. Please pay $1.99 in additional shipping costs. This payment must be made within the following 24 hours. Once the payment is made, you will receive your package as soon as possible. Click here to review." All of your users, it doesn't really matter what type of background you're coming from. If they see something like that where the money is owed, oftentimes it just builds the urgency and they have a tendency to click. Now, I want to also kind of follow suit with other things that Kathleen had mentioned in part of her demo and her presentation for you. So one of the things she covered was the phishing for sensitive information category, and this idea of sending a Netflix type email. I'm just going to search it easily here in the category, and I've decided that I want to use this. So I'm going to check the box. I want to add it to my custom state of NC category and select add. Now, once you've picked your phishing emails, a lot of you are probably thinking right now, cool, well, when you send that out, what happens kind of with the user experience? You know, what do they see? What's their perspective? Over here, we have the landing pages section. And you'll notice our platform's super easy to use. Like, it's meant to be super intuitive. This looks exactly how it did with the phishing template section. So you have your My ones. You can customize them, filter them to a category. You have your system landing page ones. So we have a ton of different ones pre-created in here for you. So depending what type of message you'd like your user to see after clicking on a simulated phishing email, you've got the categories to make it something where it's educational or something where it's a little bit more lighthearted and funny. With Kathleen's example following suit, we're going to use the phishing for sensitive information category. And I'm going to select the Netflix login page here because we are going to show the users if they clicked on that email, how many of them would actually give away their credentials. So now that I've gone ahead and shown you the options for the email templates, but also the landing pages, now you're ready to see how easy it is and intuitive to create a campaign. I'm going to navigate to the campaign section right here, and I'll create phishing campaign in the top right-hand corner. You'll go ahead and give this a name. Then you have the option, do I want to send this to everybody, or would I like to do a particular group? And maybe you'd like to phish individuals or subsets of departments, anything like that. Our platform is designed to fit anyone's needs, so you can make it a one-time campaign, or you could even automate this monthly. You could say every single month, I want to send the users a phishing email. So it runs in the background for you. It, takes care of your risk. You can see your results, assign trainings as needed, but it's another thing off of your plate. The other crucial piece to this, which also helps to have an effective program, is your sending period. So you can send all emails when the campaign starts. Most organizations know that every user has friends. They're going to work together, so they choose to send emails over a particular period. So we could say that emails go out today over the span of 3 weeks. So each user gets one email. Some may get it today, they may get it next week, but they'll all get one within that time frame. Moving down here, you have the template category section. This is going to be where you choose what specific emails actually go out to your user bases. So since we've done and filtered into a category called State of NC, I'm going to select my category right here. Now, you have a few different options of how you would like to go about this. We've added quite a few emails to that category already, just predetermined before this demo. You can choose full random, meaning that each user will get one of these 3 emails. It's like a lottery system. And you could also pick to do one specific template. So we've kind of gone ahead with this Netflix example. I'm going to go ahead and specify this one here. But we also mentioned that we want to use a specific landing page for Netflix to see if they'd give in their credentials. I'm going to skip a few settings to come down here to the landing page section for the demo purposes. And for landing page, I'm going to go to our State of NC section and specify Netflix login page here. I can easily preview what the user experience will be like before sending out a campaign with this blue eyeball preview over here on the right. And here is our Netflix email. So the idea is right away they see a big blue banner. Your account is on hold. Now you have my attention. Now I can't watch Tiger King. Please update your payment details. Hi, user. We're having some trouble with your current billing information. We'll try again, but in the meantime, you may want to update your payment details. Update account now. As a user, that's going to grab my attention right away because, nothing's changed with my cards. What's going on? Has someone hacked my account? And if I'm not thinking and I'm not hovering over the links, as Kathleen mentioned for best practices, what happens? Now the user is going to see a page like this that looks extremely legit. It looks just like Netflix. It looks like their backgrounds. We've got the movies, everything like that in place. So the users could type in information. KnowBe4 does not store the data. They could say anything they want, but in the reporting you'll see in a second, you're just going to know they entered credentials because that's a big no-no. Users oftentimes reuse passwords, and that's an easy way to infiltrate the network. They could then click sign in, and they'll see a landing page here for KnowBe4. Now, maybe we want to do a little bit different of an approach where rather than trying to get credentials, things like that, you want to make it educational, right? We want to change users' behavior as opposed to just the Netflix thing. So imagine we choose the route of full random. And one of the things that I transitioned over to this demo console, which Michael allowed me to do, is this specific patented landing page. It's patented by KnowBe4 because a user could get an email such as this Netflix one, but now if they click on it, it's going to show them right away in a big pop-up. It can have your logo. It can tell them, oops, you clicked on a simulated phishing test. This was only a training exercise. Please do not reveal it to your colleagues. Review the social engineering indicators found in the email you clicked on, meaning that you can send out multiple emails. You can send as many different ones in a category as you like. Each user will get one, but now you can make it immediate training. So I can see the red flags. If I hover over it, it's going to tell me the email domain has a misspelling. If I hover over the link doesn't take me to the site the email content says it will. So really trying to enforce and make it as legitimate of a scenario rather than just always pointing your users to just a generic, training, something like that. Now we can make it specific to everything they have missed. Moving back to the campaign settings, everything like that. We've gone over the majority of the details. You could also adjust if you wanted the difficulty rating. So if you wanted from a category to limit it to, let's just say like 2-star or 3-star emails, you could certainly do that. And we want to make sure it caters to your needs. So the fish link domain section here, this is going to be what a user sees when they hover over in the actual phishing email. So as you can see, there's a ton of different options for you. You can have some fun with it, especially towards the holidays. Make it something like Old MacDonald had a fish farm. You'll see some more challenging ones in here as well, but completely up to you. That's what the users will see when they hover over it in an email. Once you're ready, you have all the campaign settings, everything ready to go. You can hit the blue Create Campaign button. Now, I want to show you too, once a campaign has launched, what does the reporting look like? What kind of details, insight do I get from my user base, the action items, everything like that. So this is an older campaign in the demo console called Initial Campaign. I can click on the name and go to Users and easily navigate all of the metrics that they have access to. So I could confer 539 emails were delivered. Of that number, 155 were opened. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You need to open or look at an email to identify if it's real or a phish. But from that number, 147 of those individuals clicked on it. They performed the inappropriate action. That's something that could really make your network vulnerable and compromise an attack. So all these items in here are in the red for the failures. You could click on them, get the information as far as the names, the emails, date timestamps, even click on the email if you're randomizing and see which specific one that they fell for, which is really cool. Now, one key step in this is I've always found that organizations have concerns because of the amount of time, right? It's challenging. You guys are juggling a lot with everything going on. To recreate a campaign, say you liked this one right here, and you wanted to make one just like that because you want to see how the numbers have changed since April 10th, you could click this gray drop-down arrow and select clone. And this would make a secondary campaign for you with the duplicate settings. You could even tweak a couple things. Maybe you wanted to send emails over a longer duration or make it ongoing, but that way you don't have to go through the entire configuration process once again. So that's the idea of phishing, right? Once you have the metrics, though, how do you change that user's behavior? And you're spot on if any of you are listening and you're thinking, well, you have to train them. We have to teach them what to look out for. So where I'll navigate us to in part of our demo next is going to be the Modstore. KnowBe4 has the largest security awareness training content library of all of the security awareness training platforms. You'll notice in here, you can easily navigate. Maybe you want to search for content on a specific topic. Maybe I want to do targeted training for a specific group of users, whether that's executives, customer service, people that handle payments, but I have concerns. Maybe I want to do it for a shorter material. I don't want to bog them down. You can make this filtered and customizable as much as you like, and we even have a page for you of recommendations, which Kathleen will go over shortly. You'll filter it to subscription level 3, which your organization is Diamond, meaning that you have 1,376 pieces of content. When you see Kathleen's PDF, it'll outline some of the recommendations, everything for you. And as soon as you pick a module that you like, you could click the Add to Library button to use it in a campaign. Now that you've decided which training content to use, I'll show you how easy it is to set up a training campaign. A lot of you are honestly going to be thinking, well, it looks just like doing a phishing campaign. And you're exactly right. It's super easy to navigate. I'll go to the training tab. I'll click on the Create Training Campaign section. And then you would go ahead and complete all of these items here. So you would give it a campaign name. For instance, you could call it November 2021 Training. You specify when it starts. How long would you like to give users to complete it? It could be more urgent. You can make it a little bit more extended. Completely up to you based on your organization's needs and goals. Even to the point where if you wanted to, maybe you gave them, let's just say until the end of November, you wanted to make it a bit more mandatory, you can allow the assignments to be completed after the due date, because everyone knows people don't do it the first time you ask. You're gonna, occasionally have to, nudge them a bit more, but you'll see in our notifications, we make it super easy for you to take a lot of the work out of it. Now you're ready to pick your specified content or whatever training you'd like to relay to the user base. You have all of these options within here. I'll just use, for example, the Security Awareness Foundations course, and you can enable a content survey. So making sure that you're delivering the proper training, users are receptive to it. It's going to ask 1 of 5 stars. How's the length of the material? How's the relevancy? Even give them the ability to leave comments. And similar to the phishing campaign setup, you have the option here for your groups. So do I want to send it to everyone? Do I want it to send it to specific groups? Who do I want to ask to complete the training? Now, the concern that I hear from a lot of organizations is, well, how much of the work am I going to have to do to try and chase down these individuals? KnowBe4 has made it super easy for you guys in this aspect because you can add notifications. There's tons of different notification types. You can send a welcome email, which is recommended because I need to let the users know they've been enrolled in training. I would specify who receives it, such as the user, but maybe they don't do it the first time. Right? Maybe they need to be reminded after the enrollment because they had lunch or they were on PTO. So we can say to send additional reminders every 5 calendar days. This is only something that would go to the users that didn't complete the training already, but you could again send these here. Now, maybe we're approaching the finish line. It's the end of the month of November, kind of just following along with this example, and we need to build some urgency. So we could configure a 3rd notification with the type of remind before due date, saying, hey, there's only 3 days left to complete this training. You can send an email reminder to the user, but you could also send one to the user's manager. And this would look like a singular notification to them that shows all of the assignments they haven't completed yet. It's one singular email to the manager, which is super easy to use in terms of the user experience. For an actual user notification, say it was the welcome, kind of taking a step backwards, but you'll see it just tells them, hey, you're now enrolled in X training, you must complete it by X date. Here's the list of courses, just click the link and you're in. And all of those are customizable too. So if you wanted to add logos, you wanted to add any specific verbiage, super easy to do. Once you've got everything decided in terms of your settings, you'll be able to go ahead and hit Create Campaign. In this demo account, I've got some pre-created ones in here for you. So I'm going to use this specific example of 2021 Security Awareness Initiative to give you an idea of what type of reporting things look like, what type of details can I see. So again, if I click on the campaign name, I'll go over to the user section. And this gives you a quick, easy glance at what this would look like. So I can see I enrolled 538 users into training. Of that number, awesome, I'm at 428 have gone ahead and completed. The ones that haven't yet, though, is looking at 110. 55 of them have started or not started. 55 of them are showing as in progress, meaning what's nice about taking training within KnowBe4, they don't have to do it all within one sitting. They can go to lunch, they can come back, finish it, everything like that. So you'll have all of this information, the metrics in here, which can be easily dispersed or provided to the other team members, see how long they've spent on it. and download the CSVs as needed. Perfect. Awesome. So that is going to be the demo as far as the KnowBe4 platform, how the phishing, the training offerings work. We will open it up to questions, everything at the end, but I will pass things over back to Kathleen.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Let's see now. Can you see my screen, Michael?
I do not see a screen just yet.
Okay, hang on one sec. How about now?
Yes, yeah, I do see it now.
Perfect. Maybe a little lag time there. Well, thanks, Andrew. That was, just a great overview of how easy our platform is to use. One of the advantages as well is measurable reporting, right? Measurable results. So you have about 70 different reports in the console. I pulled an example report here from the phishing tab. So what type of phishing emails are your users clicking on? This is just one of many reports here. But, important to look at, is it HR topics? Is it IT? Is it social media? What are your employees, users clicking most? Which leads me to our infographic. We put this out every quarter. One second here, I lost something there. There we go. We put this out every quarter. This is our Q2 infographic. We do see millions of emails that are reported from the millions of users we have. We break that down into our top 10 lists. So top 10 social media email subjects. LinkedIn, is number one. They had a big breach recently, but at 41% LinkedIn. Top 10 general email subjects. Important to note here, in Q3 of last year, I think there were 4 or 5 different COVID-19 subject lines that amounted to about 57% of all general email subjects. So great to see that that's down to 6% now. And then also in the wild attacks, so top 10 in the wild, we've got the usual suspects here: Zoom, DocuSign, HR topics. But, we put this out because we want our clients to know and others to know what it is we're seeing and what to watch out for. Cyber criminals are constantly preying on, urgency, heightened stress, distraction, those types of things. I wanted to share this with you. I'm getting some great traction on this piece. I've shared it with several state organizations that I work with, and it's really getting a lot of traction. This is public facing, so if you have any kind of public facing site, feel free to share this, but it is a free home course. So here at KnowBe4, we take cyber or security awareness seriously. It is our core competency. So we feel like we have a corporate responsibility to share resources, help spread awareness. So this is our home course. When you think about it, where does all knowledge starts? It starts in the home at a young age. You've got young kids on devices these days. You've got maybe elderly, they're constantly preyed upon by cyber criminals. So this is, again, a free resource. It's a 45-minute video module. It covers everything from public Wi-Fi, online banking. I think there's about 9 different topics here, but very well done. And again, I encourage you to take this home, share it with your friends and family. Security awareness starts in the home. This is another great resource, a new white paper we put out, Building an Effective and Comprehensive Security Awareness Program. So this is by our own Joanna Heisman. She actually came to us from Gartner. She is our SVP of Strategic Insights and Research, but you'll learn strategies for building that comprehensive security awareness plan. So should you have consequences and rewards for behaviors? You know, do you have a phishing policy in place? What do you do with those employees who continue to click and are your high happy clickers? Setting goals and objectives for your security awareness plan, gathering internal advocates for your cause. I speak to a lot of large organizations that have built these cyber champions group, you know, like your cheerleaders group that are going to help expand your message by using all of that content that you have in the Modstore. But again, a great piece. Communication is key. Any more these days, you almost have to be a marketing communications person as well as a security awareness professional. So this actually came right out of our 2021 Phishing by Industry benchmarking report. That's our annual analysis that we do every year. I believe we've been doing it for at least 5 years. But it shows that regular phishing and targeted training do help lower risk. We talked about already using those real world attack methods. You want your phishing simulations to look like, you know, the ones that we see in the real world and more difficult to detect. But this is really marketing 101. So planning like a marketer, testing like an attacker, you know, multi-channels of media and then disseminating them out in different formats. You've got in the Modstore posters, you've got games, videos, modules, different forms of media, and then again, just to keep security top of mind, keeping that messaging out there. I even have some clients that will take our posters and minimize them and put them in their tagline of their email. So any way, again, marketing 101, to keep that message out there and continually expand the message. This is your whole breakdown here in the Modstore that Andrew touched on. So you now have over 1,300 pieces of training content there. You've got the whole breakdown here with posters and artwork. We even have a great monthly newsletter that you can put your logo on and push out every month. Some great security documents and infographics like that red flag one that I showed you earlier. And then you've got about 25 games. A lot of science behind games. There's some fact out there that the retention rate in playing a game, a 5-minute game, as opposed to a 45-minute module with a test, you actually retain that information 14% more. I mentioned humorous before. This is a great series, the Security Snapshots. Really funny, cheeky UK humor, but they're only 2 minutes long. They're MP4 videos. Great takeaways. There's 12 in this series. So if you wanted to push out for Cybersecurity Awareness Month, I'd highly encourage it. I get a lot of good feedback on this series. Great takeaways too at the end, kind of here's what you just learned and it's funny and you remember it, but here's the takeaway. So also, I also encourage as a best practice, if you've got any of these internet sites or video streaming sites, take these 1-minute MP4s and post them. Take our posters, put those up there, and the infographics as well. Just another way, again, to keep that message out there, you know, change behaviors, engage your employees across the board. This series here, Security Bytes, is more corporate aligned if that's part of your protocol there. But, you know, we have 12 different publishers now. So you've got the cartoony stuff, you've got the cheeky humor, and then you've got the more, again, corporate aligned things. Lots to choose from. This is a new series in September, Voice on Security, from our security awareness company partner. Again, these are humorous, ranging from 2 to 3 minutes in duration. Time seems to be a huge factor in everybody's lives these days. So these short ones can really carry a great message overall and again, keep awareness top of mind. I wish I had time to show you the trailer for our award-winning series, and I don't think it would show properly anyway over this forum. But this is our Inside Man series. It won an award at the Cannes Festival in 2019 when it launched for corporate training. Just phenomenal training content that you don't see anywhere. I did another one of these type state presentations recently, and after the call, someone said that the governor's office is binge watching The Inside Man. So I was so happy to hear that. But I'd highly encourage you to take a look at insideman.knowbefore.com. There's a great trailer there. You could check it out. But again, really fun. It's a regular produced series. So we used to call it the Netflix of security awareness. And then I learned that a couple of these characters here are actually in a Netflix series. So I thought that was kind of cool. But 3 seasons, our season 3 came out in Q2. We are working on the production of season 4, which will be out next year in Q2 22. But again, I encourage you to watch it. People will ask, when is the next session of training, because I want to follow these characters, but just really good stuff from our Inside Man series. And that pretty much is everything that I had for you. Again, we thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate the partnership we have with North Carolina, and we want to continue to share resources with you all and help expand that security awareness message. It looks like we still have a few minutes. Did you want me to take questions, Michael, or what do you think?
Sure, Kathleen and Andrew, thank you so much. I don't have any questions at the moment, but just as a reminder to everyone who is in the session, if you do have a question, go ahead and put that in the chat window, and I'll do my best to relay that. I've also put a link to the session info and the slides that KnowBe4 provided us that you have all just seen. And Kathleen, would it be okay if I put the link to that the free tools that you mentioned?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The home course. Oh, there you go, free IT security. Yep, that's on our website. And so guys, anything that's on our website, that's public facing. So all of that is available to you, whether you're a KnowBe4 client or not. So check that out for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. So you said something, Kathleen, cybersecurity awareness starts at home, which I think goes right along with that home course. Couldn't agree more. And it sort of reminded me of a theme that I have heard from Department of Homeland Security in regards to National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. For years now, it's been cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. So I think that was a great reminder how we are all involved. It's not just the IT folks or the security office. And so just if I can shameless plug, just to remind everyone about the phishing simulation that, it's about raising awareness. The bad guys are already doing it. Might as well give a safe environment, learning opportunity for our people. So I'm looking for any questions. Don't see any in here just yet, but I did have a couple of my own, if I may ask.
Absolutely.
So what is KnowBe4's recommendation for minimizing the office talk that will occur when you're conducting a phishing simulation? So we'll conduct a phishing simulation, and people, particularly if they click on it, they're going to become aware of it, and of course they want to share that with others. They need to be on the lookout for this message. And so what's your recommendation? What's the best practice that you have seen as far as minimizing that and giving everyone the best opportunity to look?
That's a great question, Michael, and I can definitely help tackle that one. So when working and partnering with all these organizations, the best way to approach that is going to be trying to make things as randomized as possible. So let's just say hypothetically you're doing a monthly simulation with the users. I wouldn't recommend in that scenario to phish the users over just the first week of the month. I would say you want to use multiple templates so that if one user receives an email, they can't go to their best friend, hey, did you just get that exact same Amazon email? Unfortunately, we're using different ones, and they may even get it at a different time where you could expand on it and say, let's send the emails over a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks, because I've personally had scenarios where I've unfortunately partnered with organizations and they would phish their users the first week of a month, their user base is so trained on this idea that they know it's the first week of the month. So they're especially on their toes then, looking out for that suspicious email. They're all talking about it before it even happens. So really just trying to do more randomization in terms of the user experience as far as when and what they will receive would be what I would say.
Gotcha. So, all right, that's a great answer. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Michael, because I've been with Nobi for 3 years now, and I used to remember having to explain what is fish prone percentage, and things have moved so quickly, in particular, and over COVID for sure. But I understand now, on your insurance forms now, there is a question, do you do phishing simulations and what is your fish prone percentage? So on your cyber insurance policies now, they're asking that question, which has come full circle because that's actually a know before term, fish prone percentage. So I find interesting how quickly things have come around. But also, I was going to mention, I learned this on a symposium I was on yesterday when you said everything starts in the home. There's another great website. It's not ours, but I thought I'd share it with you. NetSmart's Kids, NETSMAT, NetSmart, and then a Z, kids.com. So apparently this is a kids website for cybersecurity. So I thought that was fantastic because, coloring books, all kinds of little kid stuff, but then also, what do our future cyber analysts look like? So it's just a great site with a lot of free resources on it.
And can you repeat that one more time?
NetSmartZkids.com.
NetSmart. All right.
NetSmartsKids.com.
So one more question, and this has come up with some of the agencies that I've worked with on phishing simulations. Not the templates or the content where it prompts for credentials or some data, but just your regular click a message. Do you recommend a landing page with some training tips like Andrew showed, or do you recommend, say, a blank page that doesn't alert the user of anything?
Good question on that one too. So it's going to vary by scenario, right? So for us to write a prescription or give you everything that we think is going to be a good recommendation, your organization may vary to someone else's. So that's going to be where a lot of your partnership from working with myself and working with Kathleen is going to come from. We normally recommend in the beginning doing something of a blank landing page so that you can get an idea of where you currently stand, a baseline report where we say, before we've even done training, our vulnerability stands at maybe about a 30% mark. From there, I would recommend starting to encourage and do more educational things because we want to give them the tools to develop so that we can lower that percentage to, around more the 10, the 5 marks, what we're seeing as industry averages. But it's always nice to keep it fun because if you, shift the culture in the long term of things, that's going to be a huge success for you, the other departments, the users being bought in. So sprinkling in some funny things, whether that's like a holiday landing page or something like that, it really goes a long way too.
And I'll add to that, always positive reinforcement. We believe in positive reinforcement versus making the person feel really bad that they just clicked a phishing email. We've also got those short videos, so don't forget those landing pages as well. Instant training opportunities, a 10-second video, kind of fun video. Like Andrew said, keep it fun.
Okay. Well, that's a good point. We tried to remind folks that we certainly want to change the culture, raise the awareness, particularly for those who could have done better in a simulation, but also for those who did, who responded correctly to let them know, to give positive reinforcement. I think we're at the end of our time. Just as a reminder for those who have joined the session, particularly those with the state government, state agencies, Kathleen went through a great deal, and Andrew too, the content that is available through our subscription. It is the content we use for our training program throughout the year, but there is much more there. And if anyone is interested in seeing that content, seeing how you can enhance your own training program in your agency, please let me know. You can shoot me an email. Kathleen, Andrew, thank you so much for this wonderful, informative session. I do appreciate that. For everyone, I believe we are recording this session, and it will be online and available in a day or two.
Our pleasure, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.